Hello friends, welcome, and in this video we are going to do TCP/IP programming in C language. So C is one of the basic language, and if you have seen my previous video in which I have created a client server program in C language, and that client server is basically a TCP client server. It's connection oriented, and in this video I'm going to create a server and a client program in C, that is basically a UDP client server program in C. So what's the difference between two? The difference is that the TCP is connection oriented protocol. It's reliable for for communication where where data is more important, and in UDP it is connectionless, so it does not guarantee that data will reach in time, or any error will take place or not. It does not guarantee anything. It just guarantee is that the time would be less in comparison with the TCP. So let's directly jump to our code and write code. First we will create a server program. So UDP server.c. Let's slightly make it big. Now let's first import all our header files. Basically all network programming in C uses the same basic file. First is standard input output, which is the most basic file for programming any program in C. Standard library to page. String.h. Now our network library header files. So we have include all our header files. Now let's go on the main function. Void main int argc char pointer argv. So through these two parameters we are going to take the port number as a command line argument, so that we do not need to change the port number every time. Sometimes this happens that when we just assign a port number and a port number with an IP address, so sometimes it get we are not able to use it because it's some another application is using it, or the port might be already used. So that's why we are going to take the port as a command line argument. So if argc, which is the number of input, the argv is written as an array, and this is the total number of parameter. This on the first means the on the 0th index it contains the file number, and from first, second, third onwards it contains the parameter. So we are going to, so the argc should be of is value should be 2. First is the file name and second is the port number. So if it's not equal to 2, then we are going to return an error. Print uses %s and port. and then we are going to exit. Now if the user provide proper command line arguments, let's assign the port number to a variable. Port is equals to ATOI, sorry, OI ARGV1. So now we have our port number. Now let's int sock fd struct in me. So we have defined our sock addr underscore in structure. Now let's define a char with buffer name, buffer and size 1024. Define another variable. Now let's create the socket. In TCP we use, in connection oriented communication we use a sock stream, and in UDP or connectionless communication we use sock dgram. A socket always returns an integer value. If it return an integer value for the file socket descriptor. It's basically a text file. We have defined our socket. Now let's fill all the structure with the zeros, and then we are going to assign our values in them. Si underscore me with null values, size of me. So all our this structure variable will fill with null values. No. Send family AF INET. Instance host to network short, basically our port. Now it's time for the address. addr.saddr. Sorry for the spelling mistake. inet addr. Now we will bind IP and the port number. First parameter is socket file descriptor, struct socket dir pointer, address of SIME variable and the size of. So we have bind successfully. Now we are directly going to receive the data. That's the benefit of UDP. We do not need to do any sort of first just connection establishment and then we are going to receive data. We just receive data directly. And there's also disadvantages to that. Some, if the data comes from long distance, then it might lost or arrive out of order, or maybe data duplicate data arrives. So there may be many errors. but it is useful for those applications where timing is more important. Now we are going to write our other structure variable. I just forgot to specify this ADDR size. Let me specify here. Size should be size of now we have received data. We are going to print data received. So now our program is written nearly in 30 lines of code. So it's now let's compile it and then run it. Open another terminal also. First provide it permission to execute. So you can see ADDR size is undeclared and there is a note. Each undeclared identifier is reported only once. Let's see at the line number 29. 29 ADDR size. So you can see we have just misspelled. This is syntax error. Now let's compile it again. Now you can see we have compiled it successfully without any error warning or any specific note. So it's a server. First we need to run the server. Port number like 4455. So you can see server is running. This blinking pointer cursor indicates running. If it's not running, then it will return an error or just shut down. Now let's open our another terminal. Oh, I just closed this. Now here we use netcat in UDP mode, which is by dash u, basically u switch. Now the address, the port number. Now client will send some data to server like hello server. Now you can see server has received the data hello server and it has closed the connection. So basically it's simple server. We just receive data and then close. So no reply back. Now our server is working correctly and receiving data from the clients. Now we will make a client program in C. Now let's open another text file, save it, the name desktop UDP C UDP client.c. So we need those header files, copy them. Let's copy this program. So this program will remain basically same. There's only some changes are there. Let me copy this to here. So we have copied all our variables, other things which we require, which are basically same in both the files. So I do not need to write them again. It's your choice if you copy or you write. If you have less practice or if you are a beginner, then I prefer you to write the code because it will give you more practice and you will able to remember the code. Screenshot it again. Let me remove one variable from here and just rename it. Because it's a client, we only require one structure variable. and also fill this with null values. Now let's fill all our data. So it's port number, and you can see we have taken the port number from the as command line argument. HTONS port. This is the port number of the server machine, not the port number, the IP address. Now client, let's send a message to the server. Str copy buffer hello server. So we have copied the message. Now we will send to so buffer, size of the buffer 0, struct so DDR pointer, address of server DDR, size of server DDR. So let's print a message. Data sent. And what is the data? %ls. So we have successfully write another program, the UDP client program in 30 line of code. It's also simple. Basically this whole program remains the same, but the only difference is we do not need to bind the IP address with any port in case of client. Now let's compile this and again run this. UDP client GCC UDP client. So it is also compiled without any warning, and that's a really good thing in C. If you have compiled your program without any error warning, then you made a huge success. In beginning, when I just used to write program, I just used to get a lot of bunch of errors, and I just used to get fed up with them and just feel like just crush this computer, because that one semicolon, that termination will make your whole code go wrong. So always remember to write good code. UDP client, and if you see, if I just do not put a port number, so we'll get this message uses UDP client with the program name same as this and the port. Now let's run this with port. So this is UDP program. Now let me open netcat as server. Listen on port number 4456. You can see it listens 4456. Now you can see as client center this is server, it receives hello server, but it also receives some other data, maybe just the 1024 byte which has just nothing in them. So basically our main function is that it receives the data. Now let's close this and do the same with the UDP server. Now we are going to use the UDP server in this terminal, the upper one, and the UDP client in this server. So let's clear this server. First we need to run our server on any port number like 5566. So server is running, now our client on port number 5566. So you can see clients send data hello server and server receive data hello server. So you can see our both the programs are working correctly. Now this is just a simple program. You can use this program to create many more programs, like you can create an echo server. Just the client sends a message to the server and server will reply back with that message again. So it's just simple. We just need to make small changes in it. The client sends this data from here. Server receive the data and send this data back. Let me just copy this line and the server send that data again. We just need to make small changes. In the name, size of pointer to ADDR size. So I think our echoes is ready. Let me just check that server program again. Hello server, this is server terminal. So this is our server terminal. Compile it again. Output file. So we have a note here. I think this might be some problem. Let me just check them. Just read the message again. So we have a warning passing 6 arguments sent to from integer position. So we have this warning here in the ADDR size. Okay. And we have just I think this is the problem. Size of just I think I need to remove this and compile it again. Now you can see our error has gone and program compiled successfully. Now let's run it. Oh, it's UDP server, port number 5566. So server running successfully. Now wait for the client. Now you can see client sends hello server, server receive hello server, and server sends back. So we just haven't print the data which is sent back to the client. So I just need to print it again. So copy this code from here. Oh, copy this also. And specify. Oh, we have already specified that. And I think it's ready. This time the client program. Let's compile it again. I just need to make some change in the variable name. Server ADDR. So when you just copy the code, always remember to check the variables name and the other thing which we have which are changed in the code. Compile it again. And another place. Which line? 3219 size. Oh, here also. Now save it and run it again. Now you can see our client program compiled successfully without any error. So now run this server program again. It's time for the client program. Now you can see client first sends the hello server, server receive hello server, then server send back this message and client receive this message again. So you can see we have received the same message again and again. So this is a simple echo server. Client sends some data and receive that same data again. So which shows the server is working correctly. And this is just a simple message exchange between the client and the server. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed it, then click on the like button, and if you still have some query left, then please comment below. I will hopefully answer all your queries, and just subscribe to my channel for further videos. Thank you and have a nice day.